Good morning, students. Today we will discuss how was the Indian Constitution made. Formally, the Constitution was made by the Constituent Assembly, which had been elected for undivided India. It held its first sitting on 9th December 1946 and reassembled as Constituent Assembly for divided India on 14th August 1947. Its members were elected by the indirect election by the members of the Provisional Legislative Assembly that had been established in 1935. Each province and each princely state were allotted seats proportional to their respective population, roughly in the ratio of 1:10 lakhs. As a result, the province that were under the direct British rule were to elect 292 members, while the princely states were allotted a minimum of 93 seats. The seats in each province were distributed among the three main communities, Muslims, Sikh, and General, in proportion to their respective populations. Members of each community in the Provisional Legislative Assembly elected their own representative by the method of proportional representation with single transferable vote. Due to partition, those members who were elected from territories which fell under Pakistan ceased to be members of the Constituent Assembly. The numbers in the assembly were reduced to 299 out of 385, of which 284 were actually present on 26 November 1949. Constitution was finally passed. Although the members of the assembly were not elected by universal suffrage, there was a serious attempt to make the assembly a representative body. Each members deliberated upon the constitution with the interest of the whole nation in mind. There were often disagreements among members. There were many legitimate differences of principles, and they were as: should India adopt a centralized or decentralized system of government? What should be the relation between the state and the center? What should be the power of judiciary? Should the constitution protect property rights? Almost every issue that lies at the foundation of a modern state was discussed with great sophistication. Only one provision of the Constitution was passed without virtually any debate: the introduction of universal suffrage. Means all the citizens reaching a certain age would be entitled to be voters, irrespective of religion, caste, education, gender, and income. Members felt no need at all to discuss the issue of who should have the right to vote. Every other members was seriously discussed. Every other matter was seriously discussed and debated. Now we will discuss procedure. The Constituent Assembly had 8 major committees or different subjects. Usually, Jawaharlal Nehru, Rajendra Prasad, Sardar Patel, Maulana Azad, and Ambedkar chaired these committees. These all were not agreed with each other on many things. Ambedkar had been a bitter critic of the Congress and Gandhi, accusing them of not doing enough for the upliftment of scheduled caste. Patel and Nehru disagreed on many issues. Nevertheless, they all worked together. The assembly met for 166 days, spread over 2 years and 11 months. Its sessions were open to the press and public alike. Constituent Assembly brought different principles from objective resolution. What was objective revolution? The revolution that defined aim of the assembly, aim of the Constituent Assembly. There were so many principles adopted by Constituent Assembly. The basic principle is that government must be democratic and committed to the welfare of the people. The Constituent Assembly spent a lot of time on evolving the right balancing among the various institutions like the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. This led to the adoption of the parliamentary form of the federal arrangement, which distribute governmental powers between the legislature and the executive on one hand, and between the state and the central government on the other hand. While evolving the most balanced governmental arrangement, the makers of our constitution did not hesitate to learn from experiments and experiences of the other countries. They borrowed a number of provisions from different countries. But borrowing these ideas was not slavish imitation. Far from it, each provision of the constitution had to be defended on grounds that it was suited to Indian problems and aspirations. Now we will discuss some provisions borrowed from the constitution of different countries. On the last page of your textbook, it is given in a form of flowchart. Some provisions we have taken from British Constitution, that is, first past the post. The second is parliamentary form of government, the idea of the rule of law, institution of the speaker and his role, and law-making procedure. From the Constitution of United States, we have taken Charter of Fundamental Rights, power of judicial review, and independence of the judiciary. From Irish Constitution, we have taken directive principles of state policy. French Constitution, we have taken principles of liberty, equality, and fraternity. And from the Canadian Constitution, we have taken a quasi-federal form of government, a federal system with a strong central government, and the idea of residual powers. The provisions which are taken by the other countries we will discuss in our last class. So, go through your textbook, and if there is any query, feel free to ask. Till then, bye.